laser folds dropping, you're seeing jowls, or you're just noticing thinner skin. Some people, the thinner skin on our whole body when we're born, it's the eye area. So a lot of people start to see problems as they age. And why? Why do we get these problems? I love that question. Why? Because I'm a very much passionate about understanding how things work, because then that helps me be motivated and wise about how I repair them. So I love results and I love working on the root cause. And when you work on the root cause, often you get the best possible results. But if you don't understand the why, sometimes your expectations might be off, and sometimes you get frustrated and annoyed. And that's normal, because at the end of the day, maybe that you could have made some small adjustments or been motivated in different areas, and you could have completely offset that. So let's see if I can help a little bit with the why. So if our skin's born with 90% of the storage ester of vitamin A in the living tissue, it's the depletion of that storage ester that causes a lot of problems. So we want to repair that. That's just simple. We don't want to be distracted by all the trendy fads, because there is exactly what it is. You got to work on that root cause. You got to rebuild the vitamin A in the skin. And when I talk about vitamin A, I'm not talking about retinol per se, I'm talking about all the esters. So predominantly the storage esters make up 90% of our skin cells, and then a little bit of E and C and antioxidants to mop up all the free radicals and help the absorption. So let me give you an example. This is a vitamin A blend. It's a level 5, which is quite high. And this is quite common. So you can see they have stepped up their program to handling a 5, and the skin cells are being bathed every day in oxygen, pollution, light, free radicals, all these things, artificial lights, infrared lights. It's all removing this precious vitamin A. So that's why we have to replenish to offset new damage. But then when you're in a dark room at night, we're looking at a program to repair the past. So we're actually undoing what we didn't do when we were younger, which was put it back in. Every time we went out in the sun and had fun, we didn't apply the vitamin A to replenish the cell. Thus we get a deficiency. Vitamin A needs receptor sites to absorb, which means on your skin cell wall, in the living cell, there is a little key for the vitamin A. And those keys go to sleep once it's been irradiated with a lot of light and pollution. And that's why teenagers can have already very low absorption of vitamin A compared to a little child, predominantly because the vitamin A receptors have been more damaged. An adult, you'll see a huge change, and genetically some people have better and worse here, so that's why you have to tailor a plan to replenish it. It's not about torturing the skin, it's about being very wise in how you repair it. The vitamin A might build up in the skin because it's not in the outside of the cells, it's not getting in to the cell walls. So sometimes you need to really change the strategy to help it in. Peptides can be part of that change. I use them a lot. This is one blend of different peptides that really are lovely when you are looking at regenerating the absorption of vitamin A, or maybe that person's having some surgery, or maybe that person has they're getting responses like red, swollen, flaky. I find peptides can really act as vehicles to help improve the communication, to absorb the vitamin A and kind of buffer in a sense, and reduce reactions and repair. And there is different blends where we actually put the peptides with the vitamin A and antioxidants to try and have it all together. So when I'm programming for someone, I'm taking all these things into consideration, and I'm changing their programs subtly all the time, so they're not using the same products, that they're working towards a personal cause to repair their skin's needs, and not just a generic one size fits all, because no one has the same problems. Structure. So once you've repaired a lot of the deficiency of the skin, we still have DNA damage. Unfortunately, we all do. This is what skin cancer is. The DNA has been damaged. There's no vitamin A in the skin. So the immune system isn't optimized to go and clean up house. It's not deleting damaged cells. It's leaving them there, and they're sitting there and becoming problematic as we get older. So that's the good news. As you repair the vitamin A, we're repairing the skin's factory, which means it can go back to work and offset disease in skin, right? So this is why it's a health program. And as you focus on health, often beauty comes with it. So the visual effects come with it, which is why it's so motivating. So under our skin cells, let's say we've got our epidermis, which thins out with age, but when you're using the right skincare, it can thicken the epidermis, and it's as thin as a piece of paper. And then you got your dermis, which is your living cells, and they're the cells that need all that rich vitamin A and antioxidants to function. And then under that, we've got phytoblast cells, which make collagen, elastin, and glucosamine glycans, which is that water jelly that keeps the skin spongy and healthy and helps absorption because it's not all compounded or jammed together, so it can flow down the skin. All right, so phytoblast cells, they get really lazy. The older you are, the lazier they get, but generally speaking, they kind of close up shop when you stop growing, so the body's not predominantly making new collagen, and then because of all the external pressure and the corrosion, you think of anything, if you put often anything out in the sun too long, it will fade and degrade and get damaged. So our skin cells is doing that. The collagen elastin is degrading and getting damaged. So you see strong changes in skin in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Like you'll see structural changes because you've got multiple things going on. You've got fat pads dropping, disposition changing, you've got bones shrinking, and then you've got collagen and elastin fibers aren't regenerating, so you get thinner and saggier. But okay, good news. Sorry, that was a bit depressing. Good news, you can rebuild and you can offset. So the earlier I believe you prevent, the easier that journey is. So I personally love procedures like medical needling. What is medical needling? So it's nothing more than a pinprick. I am making multiple pinpricks in the skin. I'm releasing what's called petechiae bleeding. This is a little pin drop in every follicle of blood. In your blood, you have human-like growth factors, so you cannot be allergic to it. Your body has its own special DNA of it, and in that, it helps to regenerate those collagen, elastin fibers because it goes to work. It says, hey guys, wake up, there's a wound, we need to get back to work. So the phytoblast cells wake back up and they start manufacturing new collagen, elastin, and you see it in the skin structurally. And it's the gift that keeps on giving, because as I design a program for someone, after I finish doing therapy, they're going to see significant changes over the months to come, because that factory will keep working if you are feeding the skin correctly and you're maintaining it. They were studying many years ago, Harvard. So they were figuring out how to regenerate human tissue for organs, and they came across salamanders' tails. These are those lizards that drop their tail and they regenerate a new tail. So in the blood of the lizard, it has these growth factors in a higher proliferation, where in our human DNA, it's not as high, but we still have it. So it's that tricking the skin. What's the difference between a needle prick and a laser? Well, the heat. The heat's different. So when you enter with a needle, if you have had a blood test done and they've placed a needle in your arm, or you've used a sewing needle and you pricked yourself, there is no scar. So it's scarless healing. So when you use a heat modality, there's a more inflammation trauma response. So it is scarred collagen. So I'm not a fan of that anymore. I've done a lot of it. I didn't understand when I was very young in my clinical years. But today I just personally stay away from laser. I'm a big fan in remodeling the skin, tricking the body to heal itself in a way that it's very natural, very safe, and very effective. So about preparing the skin with its antioxidants and vitamin A and nutrition needs. So it has the factory to heal, and then tricking it. And when you trick those phytoblast cells, that's when you are offsetting the degradation of collagen. So the body is building back hundreds of sheets of new collagen, elastin. That's why it looks thicker. That's why it can tighten. And that's why it can make physical changes in the skin. It's exciting. So hopefully this was helpful and encouraging. Any questions, do not hesitate to ask me. I love questions. I love helping. And I wish you a wonderful day. Bye.